with record. Okay, welcome to our Fearless Fit Tribe biweekly team call. We were supposed to talk volume tonight, but there's going to be some volume training coming up very soon. I've actually got a call with Abby tomorrow, and we're going to sort of revamp our trainings and sort of our team is moving in the direction of focusing less on Success Club points and more on volume production. And there's a few reasons for this. One is that Success Club is great. You get some amazing benefits from earning Success Club points, and Success Club kind of gives you a marker as far as introducing new people to sort of a whole package solution in the challenge pack, right? Or even in Shakeology Home Direct, really connecting them with the solutions that will help them. But the problem comes in when you don't hit Success Club, you start to feel like you're failing as a coach. And that couldn't be further from the truth, because just because you're not selling a challenge pack or getting somebody on Shakeology Home Direct doesn't mean you're not impacting lives of other people. And so moving from this marker of Success Club to more celebrating volume is going to, I think, help us as a team really start to look at success in a different way and realize that it's not always about connecting with Shakeology and an all-access challenge pack, that sometimes people aren't ready for that. Maybe they're interested in the 7-day sample pack, and that's all they can do right now. And in the volume recognition system, you're going to get more recognition for that because that counts towards your volume. An annual all-access subscription by itself right now counts for 0 Success Club points. So you could help 5 people get started with a year membership on all access, but that results in 0 Success Club points. And so it feels like a failure at the end of the month or the beginning of the next month when you've got nothing to show for it. But when you're celebrating volume, that volume is going to be, the volume accumulated from those 5 all-access challenge pack memberships is something that will be celebrated. Same thing with the performance line. And so what we're going to do is sort of revamp the training system and actually have sort of a 10-day volume training that goes through all the need to know info about volume. So if you're feeling like, I know she keeps saying volume, I don't even really know what that means, it's okay, you will. And we're going to go through some product training too, because like, how many of you know how to talk to somebody about the ultimate reset? Yeah, a little bit, but not much, right? Not many of us do. I've never done the ultimate reset. I just now feel comfortable talking about the 3-day refresh because I've done it now. But before I had done it, I really was like, I don't really know what that is. It's 3 days of something. You do some stuff. So we're going to do some more product training because the ultimate goal is to connect people with what they need and where they are. Some people are you've learned this, some people are just not ready for a $160 challenge pack. They are not ready to try Shakeology for 30 days, and they are not ready to jump in with all access on demand. Some people are, and that's great. And we want to continue to help them. We want to still strive for Success Club. Don't get me wrong. But we are going to move to more of a focus and emphasis and understanding on volume and how that will actually benefit us as coaches as well in terms of financials, right? It's so hard to put in time and time and time and hard work and time and time and time and then see like $32. You're like, man, I feel like I did a lot of work for $32. Like, it can get frustrating and defeating. So this will help us. So I wanted to delay talking to you guys about volume until I kind of work out the kinks with Abby and how she's going to be structuring the training so that I can best help you guys understand it as well. So that will come in the future. Don't feel let down that we're not talking volume today. We will. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about mindset and the roller coaster that is this business. So I am about 2/3 of the way through the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster from Darren Hardy. And it's been a great book for me. It might look like everything is shiny and exciting in my coaching life, and that couldn't be further from the truth. There are always ups and downs in this business. Since the day I started, I will have months that rock But in those same months, I have 3 people cancel their Shakeology and a coach who quits. And there's always ups and downs. Sometimes they happen on the same freaking day, and it's crazy. So if you are in a funk, if you are in a lull, if you are in a struggle, we call it the struggle bus. If you are on the struggle bus right now, know that that's a normal part of the process. And what we need to do during those times is learn from it, learn new ways to try things, and learn a little bit about ourselves and how to push ourselves through that. So I've invited Brianne to talk on this call. She has gone through the whole journey of like super high and super low lows. And I think it'll help to hear from her kind of about her experience, her story, and how she's kind of worked her way to where she is now. So Brianne, I'm going to let you sort of take over, and then if you have activities for them to do, great. If you don't, or even if you do, we'll do another one at the end. So this will be a little bit more interactive. So go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. So I'll go really quick, and then I will, the same activity we talked about, Sharon, I'll let you go ahead and do those questions. I think the biggest thing for me is that I think just so that you ladies know, there have been probably about 3 times that I really wanted to quit. I wanted to, throw it all in and be done with it. I got very frustrated. I think the first time, I think that was probably the most significant, and Sharon will remember, it will be right after Summit. At the end of July, I had this goal, and we all do this, and I'm not sure how many of you have done this in your business yet, whether it's your vision board or your goal setting or whatever it is. And I'm highly competitive with others and myself. And so I have this vision board and I have this goal setting. And at Summit, I made this goal that I wanted to hit Success Club 5 All-Star. And I wanted to be Diamond by September 1st. Well, as you can see, neither of those happened. That's okay. We redo goals. But the end of July was probably my lowest point in coaching. I worked my ass off to earn Success Club 5 for July, and couldn't do it. Got to, and literally I shut down. I kind of had to shut down, step back, take a step away from things, and kind of reevaluate what it is that I wanted. And so the new goal for me in August was not to really focus on Success Club. I just kind of wanted to focus on my challengers and connecting and keeping in contact with people. That was my new goal. I mean, even regardless of Sharon being, my best friend, but that's who I go to kind of bounce my ideas off. So that's another really great thing that I think anybody who comes into this business, find someone else, whether it doesn't have to be necessarily an upline coach, but find another coach that you can talk to about ideas and be open to and be honest, because we can all put a great facade on the front of Facebook and social media and think that everything's okay, but in the background, we're really not okay. The month of August was really bad. I kind of gave up professional development. I gave up listening to the National Wake Up Call. I gave up a lot of things because I was pissed, and I wasn't seeing anything, and I wasn't earning anything, and I was just kind of done. And then we had our team retreat last week, and I'll be honest, in September, I had highly thought about not even going. I didn't think it was needed. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was still running my challenge groups because for me, fitness and nutrition have always been a big thing, and even in my life. So I didn't want to give up on that, and I didn't want to give up on my people because I felt like I still had a couple people who needed me, but I was starting to really give up on a lot of the business aspects. I wasn't really checking in. I wasn't really doing any things. And then, I had a big high last weekend, with the retreat, and, I was able to earn, the trip to Riviera Maya, and that was a big high. And then, of course, that kind of had to come down like at the roller coaster. You hit the peak, and then you're like, yeah, I can't go because I don't make enough money and I can't pay for it. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where like, yeah, I want to go. And then you're like, no, I can't go. So, like I said, I came home, and Abby made a really good point, and I talked to Sharon a lot too, but I really took a step back to think of how many hours I actually worked, not how many hours I, like sent like some messages, or how many hours I thought I sat in front of my computer and did things, how many hours I actually dedicated to working, which was like power hours, and like keeping track of how many friend requests I sent and all that kind of stuff. So I've given up a lot of the extra money things that some of us pay for to kind of keep track. So I went back to old school pen and notebook. Literally every day is a new day. So every day I write down like who I made messages to, who I invited, who I sent Facebook requests to. I did a power hour with Sharon. And not only that, but I literally like planned out like high school. Like, okay, I'm going to work for 1.5 hours from this time to this time. And I'm a person of like, I'm going to do what I say. So if I told myself I'm going to sit down and work, if I'm going to do laundry, then I'm going to do laundry at 1 o'clock. I'm going to stop. I'm not kidding. I actually really did that this week. Like I literally made it very clear to myself, like, today I was going to work until 1, and then I was going to do laundry and clean. But surprisingly, and I say that because I am actually a little shocked by myself, even though I may have not made any sales this week, I feel like I've done much better in my business aspect in the behind the scenes. I really did some research into like different professional development books to like try to get back on track with that, because like I said, I threw that out the window. I thought, well, that's a bunch of BS. And, you kind of just get down on yourself, and you're like, well, that's not working, and I'll screw that. And nobody wants to buy from me, and, whatever. So I'm actually waiting for my book from the library. I don't know, Sharon, if you've ever read, it's called I Am That Girl and How to Speak Your Truth by Alexis Jones.
I have not, but I've heard that that's one to put on the list.
So, like I said, I actually took like 30 minutes and did like tons of research on like different professional development books based on what hits me, because that was the other thing too. You're going to see lists and lists of books to read, but if it doesn't hit you, it's going to do absolutely nothing for you or your business. No joke. So like, I personally do not like reading Darren Hardy. He's very hard to read. I didn't get anything from the Compound Effect. I tried very hard. I thought he was great at live at Summit, but to pick up one of his books again, it's not me. It's not how I feel. I did really great with things like The Energy Bus and Present Over Perfect. Those were things that really hit me. So I try to stay on, that's kind of what I'm staying on when it comes to, that kind of like personal development, like really getting to those things like that kind of come and talk and speak to me. Because some of the other ones, if they don't speak to me, they're not going to do anything for me. And they're definitely not going to help me grow my business or whatever it's coming. As much as I would love to, of course we all have goals, and I'm never, I'm not going to give up on it. I would love to hit diamond, and I would love to grow my team. But I also have to be realistic. That's the other thing too. I have to be realistic and know that, okay, if I'm going to put a date on it and I don't reach it, how mad am I going to get at myself, and how low am I going to get again for not reaching it? So I personally have to be very careful with vision boards and goal setting, because if I put a date on something and I don't reach it, you better believe I'm going to be pretty damn pissed at myself. And it's going to do a lot of bad things rather than, beat myself up, more beat myself up than the good things. So that's another thing I've kind of, we hear so much training from all these different coaches, and we take all these ideas. And I think the one thing that I've taken away from just in general is write them all down, go back, read them again, and see what fits for you. Because all of us are completely different. We're all like, I'm okay with going live, but it's really not my thing. And I don't have a problem with it. But, like when Sharon goes live or when Nikki goes live, they're great. They're awesome. Even though they don't think they're great, that's their thing. I mean, that's what they're stellar at. So we all have different things that we're stellar at. And as much as we try not to compare ourselves, because I'm another horrible person at this, I will compare myself greatly to all of you and to everyone else, because that's just what I do. I've really have to stop doing that, because we're all different in our own ways. And, Abby did a really good job, and I know Sharon's going to lead into this activity really quick, but Abby did a really good job of leading Friday night. And I'm sure Val realized, of really having us talk about, why we coach and, what some of our struggles are, and really kind of getting into more of the personal reasons of doing it rather than the money or, whatever. We all want that kind of stuff. I mean, no matter what anybody says, we do like that piece, that gratification, but getting into the, that really thinking about it for yourself, what is it that kind of lights your fire or ignites you as a coach, and what are you grateful for in all of this? And so that kind of leads into the activity that Sharon's going to do, that Abby did with us as well, to kind of give you an idea of, really just to kind of take a step back and see, what kind of person are you? Like, I think that's the biggest thing too, is like finding out who you are, and then, who you really want to, kind of work with and reach out to, and, things like that. So it's a roller coaster. I've been on it now for over a year, and I'm not really sure it's ever going to be a steady rowboat ride. I think it's always going to have its peaks and flows. But just know that, no, you're fine. My husband's getting ready for camping. Sorry. He's getting his tarp out. Hi, Ben. But my biggest thing is find someone that you can work with on a personal level, and that you can go to and you can tell anything to. And it doesn't matter what they say, they can't judge you. So that's kind of what you want. You want like a coaching buddy or a success partner that will keep you accountable, but yet push you. They have to push you. That's the other thing too. They have to push you. Even though you don't want to be pushed, you got to be pushed. So that's about it.
Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing. It's hard sometimes to admit failures, or to admit that, you felt disappointed about missing goals. I've been there as well, and it can be hard to work through, especially on your own. And I think the biggest takeaway from this is you can hear from just the way she talks of how much she has grown in terms of knowing herself. She knows that it's going to be hard for her to put a date on a vision board and not meet that is going to be something that messes with her confidence and her intelligence. So while we always say, put down goals, put a date on it, that might not work for her. So it's about being self-aware to know what you need and what you don't need. So for her, in her example, I would say, I want you to have those goals, but maybe we don't need to put an end date on those goals. Maybe you just do the activities that you know will lead to those goals, and then it'll happen in its time. You can't expect to put the goal up and not do the work and get there. It's like your fitness. You might not want to say that I want to weigh 130 pounds by December 31st, because if you don't reach that weight, you're going to be crushed. Even if you're 2 pounds away, you're going to still think of yourself as a failure that you didn't meet that goal. But if you continue to work out and eat healthy and feel good in your clothes and all these other indicators of success, then it doesn't even matter that you don't know the number by December 31st, if that sort of makes sense. So that's sort of what I really want you guys to take away is, one, like she said, to get a success buddy, somebody on our team, somebody on Team Ignite, somebody on FitForce, anybody that you have seen on social media and you think, oh, I kind of like them, or, oh, I feel like we're like kindred spirits or something like that. Connect with them and use them as a resource when you're struggling, because the worst thing you can do is struggle alone and not work through it with somebody else. And then the other thing is to really know what you need. And before I get into the exercise that Brianne's talking about, one thing I do want you guys to tell each other here on this call is how you deal with frustration and with those down periods. Some people turn inward and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk to anybody. Some people need hand holding and like holding hands around a tree, singing Kumbaya, let's pick each other up. Some people need an ass whooping and need to be told, get your shit together, we're doing this. So what type of person are you? And I want you guys all to share with each other. I'm going to take little notes. It's always good for me to know this info so I can kind of get on you in a way that works for you. Like, I'm not going to give Val tough love and throw down like a challenge in terms of competition, because I know that doesn't work for Val. But you guys have to kind of start to think about what does work for you, because you are going to have the lows and the team is responsible for helping you get out of it. So who wants to go first? Anybody? I can unmute you. Go ahead, Nikki. Oh, hold on.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I am kind of a cheerleader. Coming from a management standpoint for the last 7 years, like that's what my district manager used to tell me. Like, I am a little bit of that handholder and cheerleader for others, and so I do kind of like that in return. So I am a positive reinforcement person. So I feel I work harder when I'm noticed for what I'm doing, even if it's something little and I'm not maybe where I want to be or I'm as successful as I would like to be. But a little bit of that positive reinforcement makes me come back the next day and work that much harder. So I definitely would say I fall on that cheerleader handholder. But I also do take tough love well. Like I'm kind of a mixture of both. So you could say, Nikki, get your ass in gear, but also maybe shoot me a compliment at the same time. If that makes sense. That's true. It's just that I think that I'm both. I do.
You can absolutely be both.
Okay.
Absolutely. I can say to you, Nikki, you are amazing at XYZ, but you really need to get it together on, W. Like you let's do some work on W. You need it. Like,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Who else wants to go?
I totally relate to Nikki on that.
All right, Val, I'll go to you, and then Dana after Val. Oh, Val, you already took yourself off. Okay, go.
Okay, I totally relate to what Nikki just said. I think everybody likes that little bit of recognition, or like, hey, you're doing good at this. But it is good to hear the feedback of like, well, you could do better at this. And then like maybe you think you're doing okay at that. Or maybe you're not. I don't know. Where am I even going with this? I'm such a hot mess. I agree with what Nikki said. I feel like I'm kind of the same way as her.
You want to know. Like, you want to know the honest feedback.
Yes. When I'm
struggling of recognition for what you are doing right.
When I'm struggling with stuff, I feel like I keep it to myself mostly, unless it gets like really bad.
Does that work for you, or do you wish you had a little bit more support earlier on before it gets bad?
I think it works okay.
Okay. There's no wrong answers. Like, I don't want you to think like there's no wrong answer, because we're all different. We all respond differently. Go ahead, Dana.
I think I'm the same way too. I was thinking actually as Nikki was talking, being a teacher, when you're providing feedback, you always want to start with something good, something positive, something to kind of, it sets the tone for the conversation, in a positive way, but then you still have to, deal out the truth. Like, listen, this is not going well. You need to know that. So I think coming from that background, that's what works for me.
Absolutely makes sense. I've always heard of like the sandwich model. Like,
yes.
You like something positive, some constructive feedback, and then something positive. So like, start good and end good, but then get the meat in the middle that they need.
Well, because you still need to hear the truth, but you still, and I'm okay with hearing the truth. Like, I feel like I deal with constructive feedback well, but, you kind of want that tone to have an uplifting, because then you walk away from the conversation like, oh yeah, I do suck at that, but I'm really good at blah, blah, blah. So it makes you kind of still feel good about yourself.
It's amazing that the vibe attracts the tribe, because I'm terrible at tough love. And so I love that I have like a team of people who like positive with a little bit of side of like, if all of you were like, no, give me tough love, I love it. Am I frozen?
You were breaking up a little.
You were, but you're good now.
Okay. Yeah, if I had a team that was like, give us tough love, that's all we need, I'd be like, crap, I don't know how to do that. Is it okay that I give you tough love? Okay, Rebecca, go ahead. Oh, hold on. There you go. You're good.
Oh no, I can't hear.
She's not on mute. Maybe she doesn't have a mic in her headphones. I'm acting like she can hear me. Duh. Okay, give her 1 second. Okay, Brianne, you go.
I guess I would be exactly the same as everyone else. You know, I like the recognition and the positive feedback, but at the same time, you know, tell me what I need to work on, and you know, add fuel to my fire to make me work harder. I think that's kind of, you know, as my quote today from Derek Jeter. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, prove me wrong. I'll show you. So we all know I like a little competition. Tell me not to do something, and I'm going to tell you I'm still going to do it. So pretty much how it works. It's my life. Hey, you can't run anymore. You can't run a half marathons anymore. Yeah, watch me.
Like you telling me that I'm not supposed to run on my injury. Oh yeah, I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah. By the way, Sharon and I really cannot be partners when we both are injured, because neither of us listens to each other. So guys, remember that, okay? Everybody hear that? So if Sharon says she has an injury, don't let her tell me, because she'll be like, don't tell me I run. And then she'll be like, okay, I ran. I'm like, well. And then I can't get mad at her, because guess what? I do the same thing too. So she needs another accountability partner for the I can help her with her business all she wants. But running and like not running, I'm not one to listen. So it's all right.
All right, let's give Rebecca another try.
You were right. I didn't have my, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Working? Okay, good.
Hey.
Sorry. I'm having all sorts of Wi-Fi and technical issues as usual. But Brianne, I loved that quote, just because I think it's something that I kind of need to have a little bit more of, like a little more fierceness in my life. So I love that quote today. But I'm a therapist, so I enjoy a lot of empathy and understanding and a pat on the back and things like that. So I'm more of not the non-tough love, but I know that I need tough love. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of everything. It's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
I'm definitely introverted. I tend to go within when I'm struggling and kind of like disconnect a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's necessarily good for me though, because I'm more of like a writer than a speaker. So it would be good for me to like write more, but I don't have time for that either. So, but from feedback from others, I think I need more of a connection rather than kind of disconnecting myself. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yep. Nope, it's perfect. And I'm glad that you guys are open to sharing and thinking a little bit more about how will I respond when things are hard. It just, you know, it's going to happen. If you're not struggling now, you will. If you're struggling already, it's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's part of it. You're like, I've had months where I've started with -4 Success Club points because 2 people returned their challenge packs. That was back in the day when we had DVDs. So it was like, man, how am I at -4? How does that even work? But you work through it. That's all you can do. So the other thing I want us to do, and we're not going to do it live on the call, but I want you to write these questions down. Val, you've already done this. So you can just post what we did from the retreat. I want you to write these questions down, and I want you to answer them, write out your answers, and then you're going to share it in the event page for this call, because I want to know your answers. And I think it's going to be a really great exercise for all of us. We did this at the retreat with Abby, and it really helped me sort of remember what this is all about, because it's easy to get hung up on money or Success Club points. And although we always have the mission to help people, it's so much bigger than helping, like just the broad, I want to help people. So the first question that I want you guys to answer, for right now, just write out the question and then you can take your time and answer thoughtfully, is what has coaching brought to your life? And the second question is, what do you enjoy most about coaching or the coaching experience so far? Third question is, how does coaching challenge you? Fourth questions is, what will coaching do for your life if you do not quit? And then the last question is, what are you most thankful for? You can answer in both in life and in this business. So take some time, even through the weekend if you need it, because it took us maybe 15, 20 minutes to kind of go through and write down our answers and stuff. So when you have 15, 20 minutes, which I know none of us ever have, but you can find it, just jot out your thoughts and then post a picture. I'll post mine, but I don't want to post mine yet until you guys start to post yours, because I don't want you to read it and think, oh yeah, that me too. Like, I want your ideas to be yours and your feelings, not sometimes when we read stuff and hear stuff, you're like, oh yeah, I should write that. So think about how you truly feel and then post it. And I'll tell you, so mine is like this on this paper. And I actually took it out today because I did not want to do my power hour. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I ran out of time. And I thought, I did all this other stuff today. But then I looked at how coaching challenges me, and I wrote, I'm giving giving mine away when I just said that I wasn't going to do that, but I'll give you this one. Because it challenges me as a leader to set an example and help others on the team be successful. And how am I going to be an example when I'm convincing myself that I don't need to do a power hour today? That's not being a leader or a good example. You guys don't know whether I do my power hour or not, but I do. So I looked at this and I read that and I'm like, dang it. All right, I got to do my power hour. It wasn't even an hour. It was a power 15 minutes, but it got the job done. It moved my business forward. That's the goal. So take some time, answer those thoughts. I'd love to hear how the exercise feels for you. So post your little gratitude exercise. If there's anything you don't want to share for any reason, you don't have to post the picture, but at least acknowledge that you've done it and what you got out of the activity. Because I think it's good. It's good to remind ourselves of why we're doing this. And that's what's going to also get you through. Like, you'll notice Brienne stuck with it and didn't completely walk away because she remembered her challengers and how, she's eating clean and working out anyway. That's part of who she is. That's part of her life. And she's now helping. She's got all these challengers that she's accumulated, and she didn't want to just walk away from them. And remembering that, and that's important to her, will help get you through when it's hard. And then when it's usually, Val can attest to this, when you go through like a really crappy period, there's usually something great on the other side, but you have to fight through the crappy period to, like even Brienne said, like earning the trip to Mexico. I think she had basically talked herself into like, she wasn't going to earn that because she's been struggling, you know, and then here she was, she decides to go to the retreat. She gets the invite that day that she's in the trip. Now she didn't get to go to the trip for other personal reasons, but that doesn't matter. Going or not going, it's something she earned, and that's a huge accomplishment. So that's a big high. So I hope this was helpful. It wasn't any shorter than our usual team calls. I'm sorry. I'm incapable of running a short call. I got to work on that. Do you guys have any questions or thoughts or anything before we go? We've got like 1 minute.
Where are we supposed to post?
You can post
answers?
it in the like the invite page for this team call,
Oh, okay.
or in the Fearless Fit Tribe page. It doesn't matter. Either one. It's in the same spot.
Okay. Thanks.
If you want to share it privately with me because you don't want to share it with the world, that's fine too. Whatever's comfortable for you, as long as I know that it's an exercise you've done.
Okay.
All right. I don't know where the Cubs game is. Does anyone have it on? Where is it?
5-4 Cubs. 5-4 Cubs.
Yes. See, I can't. I'm good luck. Oh my gosh. I have to stay in here.
Don't turn the game on. See, like now I can't watch it now. I mean, it's just how it is. So
Yeah.
What
I can't.
4 Cubs with 2 on and 2 outs.
What inning are we in?
We're only in the 5th.
Longest
I got
game
boot
ever.
camp. I got boot camp in the morning.
You got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking on the call tonight, Brienne. And
Yes,
problem.
thank you. It was
Everyone-
really, really helpful.
thank
Great.
you. And always reach
Thank
out to me.
you.
If you're struggling and you need help, reach out to me. I will be there to help you. Ask any of my girls. Like, I don't care if you're not my personally sponsored coach. That's my role. That's why I'm here. So reach out to me and we'll work through it together.
Sounds good.
Hey.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Good night, ladies.
Bye.
Tomorrow.